Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3, the final one in our ongoing webinar series about Duratec Wi-Fi solutions. As you may know, my name is Java and I'm a technical sales specialist at iLand Technology. In part 1 of the series, we gave a general introduction to Wi-Fi technology and discussed things like Wi-Fi standards and antenna theory. Part 2 dealt with the menu options in Duratec routers and Wi-Fi mesh networks. Now, in today's agenda, we'll be going through Duratec's Wi-Fi management tools, including Central AP Management, Vigor Connect, and the Vigor ACS2. Stick around at the end and we'll have a 5 minutes Q&A to answer any questions that you may have. Let's get to it then. The first order of business would be a quick overview of Duratec's Wi-Fi management tools. It's rather easy to answer the obvious question of why we would use these management tools. For a network with 2 or more access points, it can often be rather time-consuming to add and configure additional APs. And let's admit it, it's not exactly convenient to log into each access point individually to check statistics and syslogs. Using a central console to manage and configure the entire Wi-Fi network will be more convenient as well as time-saving. Wi-Fi management tools also allow for custom profiles to be configured, which can then be rolled out to all access points whenever a change is required, thus saving time. For instance, changes to security settings can be rapidly deployed across the entire Wi-Fi network with just a few clicks. Duratec access points can be managed individually by using the web GUI built into each device. All you need is a web browser with a laptop or PC. Apps are also available for both Android and Apple iOS devices. For larger installations, a centralized management tool is recommended to monitor and manage the entire Wi-Fi network. We will be discussing 3 of these in today's session. Let's start off things with a look at Central Access Point Management, or APM. Central AP Management is a tool that's built into Duratec SMB routers for providing a central console to manage and configure multiple Vigor access points located within the same network. It provides an excellent low-cost method for small businesses to configure, monitor, maintain, and provision Duratec APs. The easy-to-use router web interface greatly simplifies and reduces the time consumed when configuring more than one wireless access point. It's important to note that access points will need to be connected directly to the router's LAN by a UTP cable. Okay, so here's a table that shows the number of AP devices that can be managed depending on the router's model. There are a number of options available in the Central AP Management menu as shown here. The first menu option is the dashboard. The status section shows each access point. Green text indicates online and red indicates offline. We see event logs that display the activity reported by the access points, such as clients connecting. The total traffic provides a summary of the average traffic usage of each access point, and the station number displays the number of clients that are connected to each band, that is the 2.4 or the 5 GHz of each access point. The status menu shows information such as device name, IP addresses, and SSID of the 2.4 and the 5 GHz Wi-Fi bands. Clicking on the index number will display additional details. Here, we can see the details of the Vigor AP 903 in Index 1. Things like Wi-Fi channel used and number of clients and the APs connected with their current uptime and firmware versions can be checked rather quickly. You can also modify the device name and password. Clicking the red X button will remove the access point from the list. Next, we have the WLAN profile menu. This can be used to provision settings to a group of access points from a single profile on the Duratec Vigor router. Each wireless profile has 3 pages of settings, which are the first being wireless interface and device settings, second being the 2.4 GHz SSID and security settings, and finally the 5 GHz SSID and security settings. Here we have the first page in the WLAN profile configuration settings. The AP maintenance section provides a central platform to perform maintenance tasks such as config backups and restore, firmware upgrades, remote reboots, and factory resets. The AP map function is pretty handy. It can help to find the ideal access point placement on a floor in a building. Once the floor plan has been uploaded, you can simply drag and drop icons to see the simulated signal strength and coverage areas. Traffic graph, as the name suggests, displays the total transmitted and received traffic for each access point. These can be viewed over a daily or weekly period. If the Vigor AP is fitted with a USB temperature sensor, then the environmental temperature can be monitored. Displayed data includes the current temperature along with the maximum, minimum, and average temperatures. Rogue AP detection will display all access points detected by the router. These will be classified as either friendly, rogue, or unknown access points by color coding green, red, or black. Time and event log for all of the APs managed by the Vigor router will be shown. It's a pretty handy tool for troubleshooting. Total traffic page stays true to its name. It displays the total traffic, that is, data received and transmitted for Vigor APs managed by the router. The total number of the wireless clients will be shown on this page, regardless of the mode of wireless connection, that is 2.4 GHz or 5 GHz. Wi-Fi performance can be improved by distributing the traffic load over multiple access points. Load balancing is achieved by disallowing new connections to the AP when there are too many stations connected or if there's too much traffic, thus forcing any new stations to connect to other free access points. When you have by station number mode enabled, every access point gets a limit assigned. No new connections are permitted when this threshold is reached, and any new station connecting to the Wi-Fi network will be forced to connect to a less crowded AP. For instance, you can set a threshold between 3 to 128 in the Vigor 2862 AC router. Similarly, with by traffic mode, a limit is set for upload and download traffic. When the specified threshold is reached, the AP will not allow any new connections, and any new stations are forced to connect to a less busy access point. I'm going to include a link in the description below, which would describe all of these features of central AP management that we discussed just now. Although the video is based on an older router model, that is the Vigor 2860 and Vigor 2925 series, the config options still apply to later models. Okay, let's now take a look at Vigor Connect. Vigor Connect is a TR069 based system to manage up to 100 Dratec APs and switches on your local network. This management tool is suitable for businesses with multiple Vigor access points and Vigor switches located within a building on the same LAN. Best of all, it's free, and it's suitable for small networks that don't require the advanced functionality of a central management system such as the Vigor ACS2. Vigor Connect's version 1.4.0 supports a number of Dratec access points and Dratec Vigor switches as listed in the table shown here. So the big question, how does this work? As I mentioned, the Vigor Connect utilizes the TR069 standard for communication between the Vigor Connect server and up to 100 CPE devices. TR069 is an application layer protocol for remote management of end-user devices. It was developed for automatic configuration of modems, routers, gateways, and access points by using an auto-config server. There are several parameters that are required for communication between the Vigor Connect server and the CPE devices. These are the Vigor Connect URL. This is the internet address of the Vigor Connect server. The periodic inform interval, which is the time period between the CPE device contacts the Vigor Connect server. And finally, the username and password, which is used to authenticate the CPE device on the Vigor Connect server. The connection between the CPE device and the Vigor Connect server is not permanent. CPE device establishes a connection only at specific points in time as determined by the periodic inform interval. This connection, which is called a provisioning session, lasts several seconds. It's important to note that such a session can be initiated only by the CPE device. Alright, so I'll now play a short video that shows the process of discovering access points on a local area network and then adding them to the VigaConnect console for monitoring and management. This one runs for about 6 minutes.
Hello, Darren from Dratec Australia in New Zealand. Dratec VigaConnect is a TR069 based management system to manage up to 100 Dratec access points and switches on the local network. It's suitable for businesses with multiple Viga access points and Viga switches located within a building on the same local area network. In this video, I'll show you the process of discovering access points on your LAN and adding them to the VigaConnect management console so they can be monitored and managed. VigaConnect can be installed on any PC running Windows 7 or higher. It's also recommended that all APs are running the latest firmware. The software can either be downloaded from this page on dratec.com.au, which you'll find under Products, Network Management Tools, VigaConnect, then just scroll down towards the bottom and click the download link. Or from the Downloads page under Support, Downloads, then scroll down to Software and click Download. It's also available on dratec.com. Once it's finished downloading, run the installation program. If you get this prompt from Windows Defender, click on More Info, then Run Anyway. Click OK and Next and Install. And that'll take a minute or so to install now. Near the end of the installation, you'll get this prompt to change any of the default parameters. If you don't need to change anything or you don't know what these settings are anyway, just click OK to that. Then click on Finish, then the setup wizard will close. We can also close that and the program will start automatically by opening a new tab in your default web browser. At the login prompt, enter the username root and password admin123 as well as the validation code. It's recommended to change the username and password for security reasons. Then you'll see a prompt to scan and set up APs using the wizard. I'll click no to that because we can come back to that later. To come back to the dashboard later, you can either bookmark this URL or you'll find an icon on the desktop of your PC to allow you to start the application manually. Now we're logged in and we're greeted with the dashboard page, and we're now ready to start discovering access points on the same LAN. To start the discovery process, click on the Discover button on the dashboard. Wait a few seconds and you'll see a list appear. Here we have one access point discovered. You'll need to change the username and password if those aren't the default values, and then click on Add. It may take a minute, but once added, it will appear in the unknown devices list as well as on the left over here in the device overview list. If you have any trouble adding an AP or if no APs are found after clicking the Discover button, make sure the Windows Defender firewall is turned off on the public network and try again. To change it to a known device and add it to a network, click the plus sign. We have selected root network here. Enter the device location and set to known device and click apply to save. Now we can go back to the main menu and find our new AP under the root network. Here we can select it and bring up its own dashboard page instead of the root network dashboard. This will give us lots of information about the AP status, such as the device name, IP address, the model, firmware version, and MAC address. It'll also show us which ports are active and down the bottom here we can back up or restore configurations, download the latest config or reboot the app. One useful feature in Vigor Connect is to load a floor plan of your building and use it to work out where the access points should be placed to achieve the best coverage. To do this, go back to the root network dashboard and down to monitoring. Click on floor plan, then click on add new profile. Enter a profile name, I'll call this one office. Then browse to the floor plan image we want to use. Once this is done, click on continue, then click on add device, find our AP over on the right and drag it over to the required location on the map. If you can't see the whole floor plan, you can zoom out over here and then drag again to its proper location. Then save. Now we can click on Browse View and select our created profile to see our floor plan with the location of all the APs. Other monitoring features are alarms, logs and rogue AP detection. Next, in the configuration menu, you can create configuration profiles for the access points which can be rolled out to other APs in the network. Other functions in the system menu, down under maintenance, we can schedule backups, restore configs, we can upgrade firmware, set schedules, network management, we can delete APs we don't want anymore. System parameters. Under user management, we can see who's logged into Vigor Connect, and in the about section, we can check for updates.
Okay, thanks to Darren for that one. I'll now quickly review what we saw in the video. Vigor Connect will automatically discover Draitec Vigor APs on the local area network and auto-configure the TR069. For this to happen, the access points will need to be at their factory default settings when installed on the network. The Wireless Wizard provides a quick way to perform the initial setup. It involves locating new Vigor access points or Vigor switches, then adding these devices to Vigor Connect, and finally configuring profiles. Here, you can group and monitor the devices based on network assignment, such as guest room or office area. Next, we have the dashboard view, which provides comprehensive details such as online or offline status, SSIDs, channels and clients. Simply select an AP to drill down into details for that access point and see details of its current usage and configuration, all collected into one place. The monitoring feature will notify you when an access point loses connectivity or when rogue access points are nearby. In addition, CPU and memory usage is also displayed. The floor plan image of your building can be uploaded to Vigor Connect as we saw in the video. You can then place the access points on the floor plan as shown here. This will aid in their placement to give the best possible coverage. The provisioning feature allows for a pre-configured profile to be uploaded to selected access points in the network. This makes it possible to set up the wireless network quickly in just a few minutes. Device maintenance allows regular tasks such as firmware upgrades and config backups and restores to be automated. In this screenshot, we have the firmware upgrade selected to be carried out at a scheduled time. Vigor Connect records and displays real-time alarms showing the type of fault conditions. The reports list the date, time, type, level, and acknowledged status. You can examine these details and system logs to determine the exact nature of a fault. The RWD, or Responsive Web Design, allows the screen display to automatically adjust to suit various screen types and sizes for devices like your PCs, tablets, and smartphones. Now here's a list of the minimum system requirements. For the server, you'll need a PC running Windows 7 or later with a 1.2 GHz quad-core 64-bit CPU and 2 GB RAM with at least a gig of storage. For the client, you can use any of these popular browsers. So we now look at the final topic, which is Vigor ACS2. Vigor ACS2 is a centralized management system for DRATEC Vigor devices. ACS stands for Auto Configuration Server. Formerly known as ACS-SI, now has been upgraded to the second generation. It's a user-friendly interface allowing network administrators to configure, monitor, and manage DRATEC devices remotely. The interface has responsive web design display, which automatically adjusts and arranges content to suit a variety of devices such as PCs, tablets, or phones. Vigor ACS2 is a software package from DRATEC, and license keys are available from 25 to 5,000 nodes. Listed here are some of the major features of ACS. As you can see, the package offers so much more than Vigor Connect, including automatic remote service provisioning for DRATEC Vigor devices, real-time status monitoring, scheduled firmware upgrades, device performance reporting and system logging, a drag-and-drop VPN configuration wizard, flexible and secure CPE grouping, and as with Vigor Connect, it also features RWD, which enables viewing on various screen sizes. Talking about the obvious benefits, there are substantial time and cost savings for building a reliable and secure network, reduced travel time for network administrators with better monitoring and powerful reporting functionality are a big plus. It can even be used as an extra income source for IT service providers. We do offer a 30-day trial of the Vigor ACS2. If you're interested, just flick a quick mail to sales and we'll take care of you. That was today's session. So to summarize, we covered the overview of Wi-Fi management tools. We looked at the central access point management known as APM. And finally, we discussed the Vigor Connect and Vigor ACS2 central management applications. For more information about DRATEC products, please check out our website www.dratec.com.au or send us an email to sales@dratec.com.au or just call us on 0298 388 99. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. And if you'd like notifications of new videos we're about to launch, please click on that bell icon. Okay, that's it for me, but please do stay tuned. Me and my technical staff will be answering questions in the live chat on the right of your screen for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.